Freedom,
You
yeah.
could
Yeah,
You can do whatever you want in America. Any
It-
company can do any standard.
Yep.
You don't like it, don't buy it.
Well, D-Star is a standard and Fusion is proprietary, but I guess it's open proprietary. But I guess you can do anything you want as long as you have enough money.
There's a D-Star repeater in Bristol on 145.14.
There's one in Durham and there's one on Meriden Mountain. And the Meriden Mountain one is pretty active. I've listened to it on the 705. Rod the Fox Hunter is on that one a lot.
Isn't that the Southington Club that runs?
No,
No.
no, they got two up there, John.
they got a
Something-
440 and something else.
Yeah, there's also a 440 D-Star up there that I think is linked in, but the Southington one is a different one. They got two up there.
Well, that's good. All we need is a second set of repeaters.
Well, you have three sets.
Yeah.
There's a DMR repeater there in Northford, I think, too.
Yeah, that's the non-ARES one. That's New England something or other network.
Hmm.
And any DCN, it's connected to that. There's a bunch of New England repeaters.
Yeah, they're mainly Massachusetts and
Yeah.
New Hampshire and what have you.
There's like 5 or 6 different DMR groups, modes, or whatever you want to call it, if you're not already confused just by the fact that there's DMR, D-Star, and Fusion.
The short answer, Brian, is it might be a digital repeater. Never mind what kind.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what kind.
You getting warmed up there, Bart?
Nice.
I hope so.
Jeez.
He's drinking his orange juice.
Yeah.
I don't know. I need a battery in my thing over here, but it's, probably over 75 degrees.
Well, you're filling a lot of electrolyte, it looks like.
No, that one's gone. I'm now have to switch over to coffee.
Oh, geez.
Mm.
Need a battery for your thing, eh, Bart?
Well, I got this little clock thermometer, and hasn't had a battery in a long time.
Oh,
It was free. Kind of tough to buy a battery for free device.
I saw John
There
B
we go.
drive by us in Tracy this morning. Did you give up, John, or?
Yeah, I was up and down and over and around and never heard a peep.
Yeah, none of us heard a peep.
Well, I got a peep from the golf course.
Well, I went down Route 5 and then got down as far as Coles, went up to Coles because that's usually a good spot to hear almost anything. And nothing up 68 all the way out to 91, down 91 to Wharton Brook and back up and then up
Wow.
and then up over to North Turnpike and through Yalesville and
this is your culprit.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that the recalcitrant one?
That's the recalcitrant controller. So what I ended up doing is I did a wipe and a factory reset and then reprogrammed all the parameters in it. And just like, a week and a half ago, I engaged it, put on the Bofang that's attached to it, and the darn thing works. But every time it seems like I take it outside, that's when it kind of pukes on us. So
I did have the 2 1-watt frequencies that you listed, and I had both of those, and not a peep out of either one.
The strategy, well, at least my strategy was to put the ammo can one out at a high level. It was very high up. It's 1 watt. Everybody should have been able to hear it, but that's the one that failed to. It functioned like for 3 cycles. And then what was happening was I was sitting here watching it afterwards, and instead of shutting off and shutting off the transmitter, it stayed on. It engaged the transmitter all the time. And of course, those Bofangs have a maximum 3-minute timeout timer. So after, I don't know how many cycles, it would just shut off. That's what you guys were trying to fight against.
I did hear that pretty strong up at Coles, but I couldn't hear the Fox 4 up there very well.
Well, after listening to you guys for a while on the back channel, I realized you weren't really close. So Sean and I went back over there to see if we could re-engage it and figure out what was going on. I did have a problem with the antenna, which I have to fix, but I put an external antenna directly on a Bofang and then re-engaged it. And then, oh, hey, it came on. Like maybe that was my problem. Then we kind of drove away because we didn't want to be found right next to the North Farms Road. And yeah, sure enough, after, I don't know, 3 or 5 cycles or something like that, shut right off.
Yeah, there was no danger of you being found today.
Well, I didn't want to give it away, you know?
No, I know. I get it.
Hey,
Well,
Rob.
I did have some success with, finally got my Foxbox project moving forward.
Yeah, we might need that sooner than
Well,
later, John.
It works as far as it goes. It needs more, code needs more refinement, but it does transmit at least a foot away into a handy talkie. So
A foot away. Jeez.
well, I might try going at 2 feet tomorrow, and
Okay.
so, but probably maybe this week I'll somebody's got spare time. I'll get it outside and see who can hear it from. You should be able to hear it, Rob. I think from your house.
Yeah, I should be able to hear from here
Right?
easily.
I don't know who else is in. I don't know.
Sean should be able to hear it.
Yeah, Sean should, and you should. Even with it's on low power, it's 1/2 watt, but that should
That'd be easily. We should be able to hear it.
that should be plenty. So
Yeah.
I'll put a note. It reminds me, when you send out the emails, Rob, you had Fox Hunters at Groups.io as a recipient, which bounces.
Yeah, Dave advised me of the error of my ways. It's got to be CT Fox Hunters.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought, but well, I'll put it out for a test. I'll put it out for a test this week, and it'll just be right now. I just have it transmitting on off with a beep every second. So, but it'd be interesting to see what you hear.
Hey, Rob.
Yeah.
Did you turn on or test one of your Fox boxes around 7:05 this morning?
Yes, I did.
I heard it.
I was making sure all of them worked, and that thing worked, and I'm like, okay, I'm good to go. I just wanted to make sure everything was operational.
I was sitting here at home getting ready to program my radio, and I had it on the Fox in the Box 4 frequency, and I heard somebody ID, but not on that frequency. Had to be very close because it sounded nasty, but I heard it ID.
I had them. I tested all of them, and you and Eric are 2 of the few Wallingford guys I can actually hear simplex from my house. So it's not unheard of that you can probably copy my Fox boxes, because I'm pretty high up here, but I'm still below line of sight to to most of the, like Bob and a few of the others, Joe.
So I should reduce power.
Don't do that.
I think you gotta change your modulation on that, maybe have it play Jingle Bells or something.
I experimented with different tunes on those things and no one seemed to get it. No one seemed to ever come back and say, hey, what's that tune? Like I played the Star Wars March of the what are those Imperial Soldiers and a few of the others, but no one ever really picked. I think Eric, you picked up on one of them.
Yeah, I don't remember which one though.
Yeah, me neither.
And when I got here, John was talking about, I guess he was testing out what, like a Fox?
Fox,
Yes.
Fox, yeah.
The new-
What
the new Fox
frequency is
box.
that on? What frequency?
Right now it's 146.565, but that's
Oh,
relatively easily changeable. It's not on right
Uh,
now. It's not turned on now.
oh, I was just curious. Maybe I'll listen for it, but I didn't. Here
I'll
with-
put out an email on the reflector when I turn it on, and I can just leave it. I can leave it run for a day or whatever.
Sure.
I'm trying to work on getting the ID to come on right and having trouble with that, but it beeps every second. So, well, like I say, from a foot away, it beeps every second. So, but yeah, I'll put out a note when it's when I'm going to turn it on.
Sounds good.
Hey, Bart,
Yes.
when we were up at Staples Plaza, that last stop kind of thing, and I kept pointing, it says it's pointing right over the top of the damn building. It was right. I talked to Bob afterwards and he told me, yeah, you were pointing right at it. But it wasn't.
Problem is when we-
consistent. It
when we
was
look-
not consistent.
When we left Jeremiah's, we went the wrong way. We went up towards Coles. We should have gone the other way.
Yeah. Hindsight's a wonderful thing.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if the dumb
Well-
thing, the dumb 700 had worked right, you guys have been up there a lot earlier.
And if I
Well, I
hadn't
was
busted the
just
coax
below
lead on my
700.
Yagi,
Yeah, I was listening just below 700. I mean, below Jeremiah's, and I couldn't hear anything. But I think if I went up to the top of the hill, I probably would have.
But it's amazing. Jeremiah's, we were at the hydrant on North, whatever road that was, North Barnes Park. And we were very close to the Fox. We should have heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't
easily
hear
you guys were then quarter to half mile at the most.
Yeah. And
Air miles.
couldn't hear from Alexander Drive, couldn't hear from there. It just wasn't working.
Oh, I went out from Route 5. I went 68, which right
Yeah, you went right by it.
over there, and I went all the way up 68 up to 91.
Should have turned left.
So, well,
We found a huge parking lot behind Blue Cross. Didn't know it was there that big. It's huge.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Be a good place to hide a fox, Jim, huh?
I was thinking that.
Be a good place to have Nutfest.
Yeah, what the heck, then I drove from that parking lot, I drove behind that hotel.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a huge conference center they're building there.
Are they building something there?
If you looked at the back of it, where I drove around behind it, it's got like a big entranceway and it
Oh, yeah.
looks like they're making a friggin', what do you call it? Conference center or something. I don't know. That's what it looked like just driving.
Future
by.
home of Nutfest.
Hmm.
You could
Yeah.
rent that parking lot probably for a song and rent a tent and have an indoor outdoor ham fest there.
Nobody would find it.
Yeah, that's true.
Have to
I
put
will
a fox box
there.
Yeah, put a fox box there.
Hey, I wonder if Remember last year they had, what group was it up, had that fox hunt on, when was that, New Year's Day or something?
Yeah, they're gonna have it
Yeah,
again.
Manchester Bears.
The
Manchester,
Bears,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I wanna,
That's a lot of
didn't-
miles.
I did really poor on that.
I'll do it again. It was fun.
Everybody's got to start from the same spot though, right?
Well, yeah, you're supposed to, but I know a lot of guys.
I guess
didn't.
you don't have to, that's true.
You don't
Oh.
really have to.
Everybody's saying it's that way, so you get some confirmation on the general direction.
Well, that's the thing. The whole issue about that is you're guaranteed to hear the fox from that location to start.
But I didn't like the way, it's not like ours. It's just the guy every once in a while, he gets on the air and says something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a
And
little
then that's the fox you gotta
It's-
find, so,
it's a little hooky that way. You're right.
yeah.
Well, you spend more time driving and less time hunting.
More questions, Brian?
Nothing in particular.
Oh no, you're not getting that way. Not getting away.
So nobody found it today, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I found it.
Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah. Just a little harder than usual, or is that
Yeah, it was hard.
Yeah.
We came in last, unless Rogus was still out there. Did he find it?
I heard Rogus out there. I heard him on the radio.
He never
He-
showed up though.
he
You
never
found it
showed up.
before me. I haven't found it yet.
You ran out of gas.
That's true.
You drove
can't
by a
find-
gas station, Bart. What happened?
I had to go home to get money.
Oh,
I can't believe how much money it took to fill that car back up.
we could have loaned you a $1.380.
Yeah. It was down to under 40 miles according to what it could do. And I know that means that if you're lucky, you'll get 20. And there's some gotcha with those cars that you don't let them run out of gas. Because if you do, you have to call the dealer. And they have to come do something.
Prime
What kind of
tank.
car?
It's a hybrid.
Oh,
I don't know what the gotcha is, but they warn you in the manual.
You got Toyota, don't you, Bart?
Yes.
Yeah, but you should be able to go on YouTube and find out what you need to do.
How am I going to go on YouTube when I'm out of gas?
Do
Well, do it
before-
yeah, do it.
now.
Do it now.
So you
Well,
know
I
in the
prefer not
future.
to run out of gas.
Bart, you got this thing in your pocket called a phone.
No, he doesn't.
No.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't, Rick.
We already covered that today.
No, Rick, we don't do that.
All right, sorry.
Bart's phones have copper wires attached to them.
I have to do this every week.
Yeah, there we go.
Or antennas. There it is. Look at that.
Wow.
There you
I
go.
love that thing.
Rotary.
Wow, look
too.
at
I
that
love it.
microphone right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
That's not a microphone.
Google the word Luddite, Luddite.
He's hanging on to that to torment his grandkids when they're old enough to appreciate what it is.
Well,
But
I'm
it
not far
works.
away. I got a hanging wall phone like that. So
I got one of those in the garage, John.
there we go.
I got one of those phones, but I don't have copper lines anymore.
In the old days, having a portable phone was just getting a long coil cord to your headset.
That's it.
That made it a portable phone.
18-foot coil cord.
Yeah, I remember those.
I had 25.
Well, I finally bought bit the bullet and bought the tone board for my
Oh
own
yeah, I
radio.
saw that. I saw
Why
that.
didn't you just buy a new radio, Jim?
Because I love that radio. That's a nice real radio. And, it's been with me for a long time. So all you had to do is screw in these standoffs for the board mounts. So I tried that and then I found out the holes aren't tapped. So I was fortunate I had some taps and it was a 440. I tapped them and then I was able to put that in.
It wasn't
And I
metric,
did-
really?
No, 440 screw.
Wow.
That's American. And then, what I have to, then I had him set up the 162.2. But I thought he would have dip switches, but I actually have to solder them. So I did set up the other two tones. So now I have 3 tones. I tried it and I can, it does work the repeater. So
That's cool.
I'm happy. Of course, the tone board costs more than the radio's worth, but double the value of the radio, I guess.
Oh, it's worth $10, right?
I wish. The board with shipping cost me $85.
Oh,
Holy
That's a
shit.
big bite. But it's still cheaper than a
Bowfang is
new
cheaper.
radio. Huh?
Bowfang is cheaper.
I got a Bowfang.
I think we should change the tone on the repeater now.
After we got the soldering iron out.
let's go DPL if we're gonna do that, John.
You guys are brutal.
When I want to see brutal, I needed a piece of coax. So I went over to Quicksilver website to look for one. John, can I pick on you for a minute? Or are you gonna
Yeah.
get upset?
You don't need permission, dude. You just do it, Rick.
Oh, I'm quite used to it, so.
Yeah,
Let me share my screen.
oh, sure. Absolutely. Hang on one second here, buddy. Bang. And you are now co-host and can share your screen.
Share screen. I want to share this one. Share, but here. Can you see the Quicksilver site?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yep.
All right. So I come over to here and I say custom made. I want a 50-foot piece of coax. So it's 93 cents. You click on 50 feet, it's $30 more. So that's 30.93. I want a PL 259 on one end, a PL 259 on the other end, $50.93. Custom made. But down here in the bottom, I see this. Oh, please note, show more. So I go show more. If you're looking for a standard cable, you'll pay a lot less money here. So I go over to here, and a 50-foot cable is $9 more. Now, math is hard, so maybe I'm missing something. But how is a less expensive off-the-shelf cable for $59 less money than a custom for $50? I'm missing something. John?
Go back one.
Yeah,
Go
that
back
didn't
one
add up right.
screen.
Right.
Custom made, 50 feet.
50
It works
feet,
for
guys.
100 feet, same thing.
Oh, it's,
That's 93 cents a foot, so that's almost
No,
$50
there's
plus
no, there's your
$30.
price. The cord,
Different coax, maybe?
no, same coax, USA 240 50 ohm, right? So it's the base price is 93 cents. You get 18 inches or 3 feet for 93 cents. Just coax, no ends. So I want a 50-foot cord that tacks on $30 to the 93 cent base.
So that's pretty good.
Now you put the ends on it. End number one is a PL 259, cost me $10.
Wow.
End number two, 259, cost me $10. So I can get a 50-foot custom made USA 240 50 ohm cable for $50.93. But then I go over to here and I save money. You'll spend less money here. Okay, USA 240 50 ohm. 50 foot is the base price with 2 connectors on it. There it is, $59.
well, it's magic math.
Listen, if someone can explain to me how I can get it cheaper by buying this one, I'll buy this one.
Well, Rick, honestly, the coax prices have been going crazy and trying to keep up with them and all the different, anytime it changes, I got to make 16 different changes on the website. And well, I guess I missed that one.
So it's lag. You're just talking about lag, John. That's what you're
But,
talking about.
No, he only
now-
made 15 changes instead of 16.
And now that Rick has pointed it out to you, you're going to give him an enormous discount.
Yeah, you're gonna match the price.
No, I'm going to fix it in the next 30 seconds so he can't.
Yeah,
That's why
now
I
my
use
50
ladder line.
I don't know.
And,
This is being recorded, John, so I think you're screwed.
No, now my
No.
custom made cable is gonna cost $69.
Well, it's just, trying to keep up with this shit is just unbelievable.
In other words,
Anyway,
I should place my order really quickly, John, right?
no,
Hey,
no. What you should do honestly, what you should do is give me a call and don't order it on the website, because I am happy to extend generous discounts to active club members.
And that's a true
No, whoa, whoa,
statement.
go back, Rick. 25 feet is $10 and 50 feet is $30. So if you buy two 25-foot rolls, you save $10 right there.
That's true. True. Math is hard.
Math is hard.
Well,
Unless
you know,
the barrel connector costs $10, then you're screwed.
well,
The barrel connector
They
is going to
do.
cost you $8.
Rick, give me a
Barrel
call. Tell
connectors
me,
cost $10.
give me a call. Tell me what you need, and come over and get it. And you know, like I say, I'm happy to give you a break on it.
Will do, John. I didn't want to pick on you too much, but when I saw the disparity, I had to kind of.
That's a lie. Yes, you did. You want to pick on him severely. And we all appreciate it.
Well,
Rick,
John
you
is
actually
also
did
a
him a
good guy,
favor.
too.
of course, the discount would have been better if you didn't publicly shame me.
What is that? What's that USA 240 cable?
It's
Sort of like LMR type?
it's equivalent to LMR 240, but it's US
Yeah.
made, and
Bring
it's
it.
Oh, I see.
also
Oh, it's like an RG8X?
well,
Oh, no.
it's a lower loss version of RG8X.
So
Oh,
USA 213 is RG 213, basically, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. All of my cable is American made. Actually and on the specifically on the 240, the LMR 240 from Times is a solid center conductor, and this is a stranded center. So it's more flexible.
More flexible.
Well, I liked your description of the different cables. You know, USA Flex being top of the line, and then it goes down from there.
Yeah, it's all my cable is good. Honestly, it's all good quality, and just trying to keep it in stock is has been a challenge.
Well, it's good that you're selling a lot of it.
So yeah,
Well, I like the fact that it's US made.
so yeah, a lot of the LMR stuff is Chinese, which
I like the fact that it doesn't say Radio Shack. They had the worst coax cable in the world.
well, no, this is good. It's all good quality, and
What are you gonna use the cable for? Brian?
Well, I'm getting an
Rick.
HF radio, and I bought a N feed half wave, and I'm gonna hook it all up over my Christmas break here. So
Oh,
What'd
We're
you
gonna
get
have
for
a
a rig?
I got the low power, the one that you guys were talking on the reflector on, the little handheld from China. That's based on that German open standard board.
Rocket Man's radio.
Which I'm at a loss.
I can't remember the name of it. The USDR, DM, XR.
Zygu.
No, it's not
No.
Zygo. It's some other thing.
I'm not familiar with this.
He went down to Aruba and worked somebody with it or something.
Yeah.
Oh, that one he's been okay, I got it now.
Oh,
Yep.
Tom Swift.
Yep.
I'm gonna play with that a little bit.
Okay. Well, says an SDR radio.
That sideband, that's not just CW, that's sideband too.
Correct. It's
Yeah, okay.
sideband.
20-watt radio, right? 20 watt or 10?
I think it's yeah, I think it's 20 watt.
Yeah, I thought it was 20-watt radio.
I'm surprised somebody doesn't build an actual HT that'll cover HF. You know, design like a regular push to talk HT.
Well, there were, I guess, Yazoo had one back in the day, but it's out of production now.
There's guys over in Britain. They make a big deal out of pedestrian mobile. They put a backpack on and they put a vertical on the end of their backpack and they walk around working DX with it. I mean, it's a whole subculture of ham radio like POTA.
Right.
I've
Into
seen
the
it on the
operating
bicycles also.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bicycles
Yeah.
too, but if you're, you know, you got to be on foot or you're, you know, not being a purist.
There was a group.
When are they working on
They
their-
had a website, HFPAC, HFPACK, HFPAC.com. I don't know if they're still real active or not. I haven't heard much from them. But HFPAC.com. And they were all, you know, that was all those guys doing that,
Into the operating one.
doing that stuff. What's that?
Into the operating one in portable.
Any band they want.
Well, there was a lot of chatter there on 17 meters. And this is going back 10, 15 years, but a lot of chatter about on 17 meters.
10 would be great when it's open at sunspot peak.
Well, yeah, because the antennas get
Smaller.
into a almost manageable size.
Yeah.
The website's still there, John.
Well, I don't know. I used to keep a little bit of track of it, but I haven't looked at it in a long time now.
HFPAC has a presence on Reflector on the what is it, a Groups IO site, and there's a few messages coming through on that.
Yeah, there's only so much I can keep track of at once.
You're in business. What are you talking about, John?
Hey, Rob, I wanted to thank you for putting the Elmer net up on YouTube. Because I'm I watch it every single week after you post it. So I've got to catch up on things even though I couldn't make the net itself. The only suggestion I'd make is when somebody posts links in the chat, could you copy them over and put them on YouTube description so that the people watching it can click over on the link?
Yeah, you know, I never paid attention to that. That's probably a good idea, Rick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna share
Now,
it.
one thing you mentioned 3 weeks ago that I caught on the YouTube was somebody made a comment that about Joe Taylor, and he's seated on the right hand of God. But I didn't catch who Joe Taylor was or why he's seated at the right hand of God.
FT8.
He's the guy that invented FT8.
Nobel Prize winner or Nobel Prize? Yeah, Nobel Prize.
Depends on your perspective, John.
You can have it.
Either that or he's ruining the hobby. You can look at it two ways.
It's the same technology they use to transmit data to all these deep satellites.
Yeah, he started with JT65 or whatever, and John knows him, VDF.
JT9, JT65.
Yeah, and then it all evolved into FT8. And I guess it's still evolving because there's all these other modes out there. You can't, speaking of not being able to keep track, there's so many you can't keep track of.
Yeah, he actually did win a Nobel Prize for.
Yeah, he's a professor at Princeton or something. He does a lot of work for the Defense Department.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
Navy Department.
Navy, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he was an instructor down in Annapolis for a while.
I mean, I'm sure FT8 has an application that's useful in some form.
I finished my spud gun, and
Did you
I'm
shoot any
trying.
spuds?
I'm trying to.
No, he made French fries.
I'm trying to share a video we made on Saturday. Is the barrel that I have? It's interchangeable barrels. So the barrel that I have has got a fishing reel, open face fishing reel, and guides on it, so I can launch a little projectile over trees and bring up antennas. But I also made a for fun barrel, and we had a little bit of fun with that on Saturday when I went to work. But it doesn't look like the mail drop Dropbox gods are going to help me with that. It's a big file.
What are you using for a projectile?
Just a PVC section of PVC pipe that fits perfectly inside the barrel.
And the barrel is PVC as well?
Yes. Schedule 80, good for 300 PSI.
Right.
Break any windows yet?
No, but well, I can't say no, because strangely enough, this last week we had a fire alarm at the place where I work because somebody put some food in a toaster oven, which was totally illegal, and then they walked away from it. And the dumb thing caught fire and set off fire alarms. And now the Newington Fire Marshal wants an audit for our facility, because if you're dumb enough to have a fire because of a toaster oven, you probably got other violations. And he's not wrong.
And if he finds anything, OSHA's gonna come in right behind him.
Oh yeah, OSHA's not going to be far behind, Rick. You're right
Be
about
careful, guys. You're being recorded.
that. I know it.
That's okay. When you're in our industry, OSHA's just a fact of life.
Yep.
I mean, they came to our company and they were picking on things like there was an electrical work box that didn't have a cover on it that was 18 feet off the floor, screwed to the ceiling. It was missing a cover. That was a write-up.
Yeah, it's all about fine abatement. So they're going to find, $500,000 in fines, and you're going to abate $500,000 minus maybe $50,000 and pay them $50,000 for their wonderful presence.
Yep.
So that works. But we had fun with that thing, and I use a bicycle pump to pump up 100 PSI in that little reservoir, and I got a Schrader valve and a little gauge on that thing, and a little Rainbird kind of thing that's modified to be a trigger. And I guarantee I'm probably going to be able to get up above a tree about 300 feet tall. So
You got electrical trigger on it?
no, it's a Rainbird. I took the solenoid off of it.
Yeah.
And
I use the valve.
I just use the valve to equalize pressure, and it just opens right up. Darn thing works great. Of course, the other guys are like, they just love it because they're like, yeah, let's see what we can destroy now.
What is a Rainbird?
It's a sprinkler control valve that usually uses 24 volts to control your sprinkler system in ground.
Okay.
And we take out the solenoid, the electrical part, and just put a little mechanical valve in there, and it equalizes pressure on both sides and allows the pressure to go down the tube.
Don't people use like ball valves and they just give it a whack?
You could use that. Yeah, you could use that,
maybe.
but it's slow.
Well,
You won't get the same velocity out of it.
Ball valves aren't good. A flapper valve is better. Flapper valve you can release almost instantly.
Yeah. Yeah, this thing works pretty good. I'm going to take some pictures and make a documentary and maybe put it on Key Clicks without any incriminating evidence.
Hey Brian, how you doing on learning technician?
I feel like I'm doing decently. Coming along, as was noted earlier, I spent some time with John this weekend, which was good. I got a manual from the club. I've been reading that, doing a lot of YouTube, doing a lot of practice tests, from the question pools themselves.
Oh, speaking of that, Rob.
Yeah.
The two modems aren't talking to each other because they're missing a cable between them.
What modems are you talking
At the office.
I been early last night and I got up at 2 o'clock.
Okay, hold on 1 second,
Kill.
guys.
Pretty soon I'll be going to bed before I wake up.
Jesus. Okay, what was that, Eric?
John couldn't get on the internet with his laptop to quiz Brian with these online tests. So to make a long story short, he's only got 2.4 gigahertz.
Oh,
Well, the ATT modem or whatever we have down there, Comcast or whatever, only does 5 gigahertz. So I brought my modem down, we set that up, and I have a separate Wi-Fi network called W1NRG. I'm not sure I remember the password for it, but I thought I made it the same as the other one, but it connects fine, but no internet. And then Bart and I discovered there's no cable between the two modems. So
yeah. So
we need about 25 feet. of
that's the one that's right behind the VHF
VHF.
computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried connecting that also, and without being able to use a copper connection between the two.
You have to be hardwired between the two.
Right.
Because I've daisy chained the modems or routers at home, and you do a quick change of the setting in the router itself, and they work fine. So you basically have two different routers, Wi-Fi routers on two different channels, and that will give you coverage. Of course, now everything's going mesh, but we were hoping to do it the old-fashioned way there. So if you got some,
I'll get back up there, Eric. And
yeah,
for some reason, there's a reason why we can't use or didn't use copper connection. And I think it's because there's something else connected there. And I don't remember right offhand why.
you don't have enough ports.
I think the copper was being used for something else, and I don't remember what. Did you look at it? Did you actually turn it around?
No, we just looked and realized that there was no connection between the two, so therefore it wasn't going to work. You can't piggyback on Wi-Fi. You have to piggyback on hardwire.
On hardwire, right?
Cat cable. And all you got to do is plug in a cat cable between the two of them, and it'll work fine. And if we had to move the 2.4 router over closer, we can do that too.
I don't know why I couldn't do that, but for some reason I couldn't do that, because I know this and that's what I wanted to do. And for some reason I came away from it like, I can't do this. I can't believe I can't do this. And that's why
most of your computers there are hardwired. They're not Wi-Fi'd, right?
No, the two HF computers are Wi-Fi.
They are, but the VHF one isn't.
The VHF, I think that may be the reason why.
So John could have connected on 5 gigahertz, but he doesn't have 5 gigahertz in his laptop. I guess it's an old one.
What we can do possibly is either put a router on there and another Ethernet connection on that VHF computer, or get a Wi-Fi connection for the VHF computer and dedicate the 2.4 to 5 gigahertz via copper.
Okay.
I got to look at that.
The easiest solution was I moved them from the bunk room back into the radio room, and they sat in the radio room because that had the internet, and John was able to test Brian. That was a temporary solution.
John was saying the mouse pad on one of those keyboard mouse pad combos wasn't responding. Just another thing to add to the list.
John doesn't have the touch.
Yeah,
I thought that might be the case too.
John's old school, buddy.
Definitely old school.
He found the tab key though.
But he's got software, Brian. He has got software. If there's a software to be owned for ham radio, John has got it.
He carries it in a big case, all the discs and all the cables.
He does.
Is that big black one I saw?
Yeah. Between that and his bucket truck, he's indispensable. You laugh, but it's true.
It's absolutely true. I didn't laugh. I'm not laughing for that reason.
No.
Hey,
Yeah,
Brian.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
See, I've got one of these little things that plugs into your computer.
Yeah, it's a dongle, right?
Or it
Looks
could be
like
a
a
memory
Bluetooth.
card, a USB memory card.
No, it's like a little dongle, I guess.
It looks
you'd
like a
call it.
Bluetooth dongle.
But I don't know what it goes to.
Probably a mouse or a keyboard.
I'm thinking it's a mouse or keyboard, but I
Yeah.
thought I tried it on in the mouse that I had. It didn't work, so I don't know. Is there any way when you plug it in to look at the properties and really figure it out? You can't really figure it out, right?
Not really, not from your computer side.
Outside of just experimenting with things looking around.
Is there any labeling on that thing?
Yeah, no, it just shows one of those symbols for like, what do you call it? USB symbol. That's all.
Yeah.
I think it goes to, I got another mouse here and a keyboard. I thought it went to this, but it didn't seem to work. So I don't know. I have to play with it some more. Because I got a wireless mouse now plugged into this computer. But that, I had another one. I know I had another one. I was going to use my TV. I never used it. So thinking that's where that came from.
Well, unless you got some
Whatever.
exotic Bluetooth dongle for ham radio, it's probably
No.
a mouse or a keyboard.
That's what I'm figuring. Yeah. Maybe the batteries in the mouse dead.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why it didn't work.
That's why you go back to wired mouse and wired keyboards.
That's ancient
Guilty.
dinosaur stuff, buddy.
Yes.
Also, there's less interference with a wired connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why I had to go back to the wired connection because I was having trouble with the Wi-Fi, the
Yeah.
Bluetooth.
I found exactly the opposite, Eric.
Well, that's what they're saying.
Wireless.
All right, it's on the mouse cord.
It worked just fine until the cat sits on it.
Sean is saying you can search the serial number or plug it in and check the device manager. He's right. There should be a serial number that pops up on device manager.
All right. Yeah, I'll play with it later. I don't want to, while I'm using the computer, get it confused.
Hey, Bart, your audio's not coming through.
Bert, yeah.
Oh, I pushed the other button.
It is
Sorry,
now.
thanks. No, I unpushed the button. I got two ways to turn the audio off.
You unpushed it or just pushed it twice? How do you unpush something, Bart?
Then I unpush it.
He pushed it twice, but a guy who owns a rotary phone calls it unpushing.
How many speed dials numbers does your rotary dial phone hold, Bart?
All of them.
All of
One,
them.
one or all.
Yep,
Do they
it'll
still have
speak.
operators? If you dialed O, would you get someone?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
That's interesting. Yeah, I wonder if that's true or not. You got copper line there, Bart?
Yes, I do.
I'll
Pick
bet,
up
you-
that.
I'll bet they do.
Pick up that phone and dial 0 right now.
No,
Let us
because
hear
the,
it.
no, because the last I knew, if you do that, you have to pay a charge. And I'm
Well,
not gonna,
45 cents, I'll
I
throw
don't
you a
care
buck.
what. No,
If you find me in 2 weeks, I will give you $1 to do it.
and so if they answer, what the hell am I going to say?
Hello.
Thank you for 65 cents.
65 cents for what?
To have the
Directory
operator
service.
answer the call.
I thought you
Directory
put up.
service operator.
We're dialing 0 for operator on a rotary dial phone.
Dial 0 on your cell phone, it's gonna do the same thing.
Will it?
Well,
Right.
why not?
I
0,
don't know.
0. Think.
It's a
I'm only-
totally different network. Totally
Gotta,
different.
you gotta
Oh,
prove
yeah?
it by me. Yeah, you gotta prove that by
Oh.
me.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Brian, as the looking at the bunch that are here, I'm the latest licensed ham in the room right now. So I want to give you some advice on how I study for it. I came up with a unique, well, probably not unique, but I came up with an interesting way to do it. And I want to share it with you because I think it'll work pretty good. So I'm going to share my screen again because I still got permission. And I start on the ARRL exam study page. You have to sign up for it and get an account. Totally free, no big deal. You log in when you get here. You log in. and it takes you to this page. Review for exam, take practice exam, or print practice exam. Have you ever been to this page?
I don't think I've been to this one specifically, no.
This one is pretty good because I have 100% confidence that the questions are from the correct question pool and everything is right.
Right.
So I go review for exam. In this case, I'll do technician. And then you can review by chapter, sub-element, just do chapter. You could pick whichever one you're working on.
That's good. That's good. I've been looking for something just like this, actually.
So you could select all, or you could do just like 4.1 propagation, then you hit review. And it'll tell you what the question number is in the question. Now, what I do is I go out of my way not to look at any of the answers. But what I do is for the very first one is I'll copy the question, including the number up front. And I will go to, I have to make my screen smaller to see the Google. And I'll drop it in Google and hit enter. And I'll look for hamstudy.org. This place is magic because it gives you, okay, so the question I was looking for was T3A01. So here on top is T3A01 is the first question, which is right there. Now, if I scroll down, it'll show the answer. I go out of my way not to look at the answer, but the first thing I do is I click this triangle in the corner. Once I click it, I get a detailed explanation of what the answer is. So I'm actually learning what each answer is and why. And it's really a quick read. And like sometimes, like in this answer, they won't outright give you the right answer, but it'll teach you what you need to know. And once you're done studying this, click back to the ARRL, look at the 4 answers and pick the one that fits. Because they're not just giving you the answer, they're telling you why the answer is correct. And sometimes it gives you goofy little help answers. But this I found was the best way to actually learn what's behind the question, to learn the technical data, to learn the reasons. And it's a quick read every time, and you could do just a few. And it works, it's wonders bouncing back and forth between them. And of course, as you answer the next question, you know, the next one up is TA302. So you're already on that page because you had TO301. You just scroll down a little, there's the 02, you hit that, and then you could read the answer there, and I bounce back and forth, right? I get the correct answer, go to the next one, which will, this case is T3A06, because it doesn't give them all in order because it is by section number. So then I'll go back here and I can scroll down to 06, hit the triangle, read what picket fencing is, and then go back to ARRL and pick the correct answer.
Great. Yeah.
And then go on. But doing this, I really learned what's behind it because of these little paragraphs that are in here. And by forcing myself not to look down at the answer, like if you just go like the A05, the correct answer is highlighted. So if you scroll up on it slowly, hit the triangle and then scroll up, you can really get the data behind it without being handed the answer. So I just wanted to share that with you.
I appreciate it. That's great. That's great.
I'm currently using this method to study the extra, and it's helping me a lot. So you will get there. It's really not that hard and that bad. I use this technique to do technician in March, and in April I got the general. So back to back. So I think it'll work pretty good for you. Give it a try.
Great. Thank you very much.
Well done, Grasshopper.
I don't know. I would have turned on the PL so you wouldn't hear us complaining.
Oh, jeez.
You're getting all the salty tonight there, Brian.
All right, guys, I'm gonna jump out. It's been an hour, so everybody have a good evening, and if we don't talk again, have a good Christmas. I guess we won't be at the firehouse on Saturday, right?
No,
Well, you can do that, but you know,
Yeah.
I won't think you're not gonna find much company.
No, I didn't think so. Yeah.
The boss said it'd be on the air though, with the.
Yeah, Ed said he's holding the coffee cup net both
Is he really?
Christmas and New Year.
Hardcore man, hardcore.
Boy,
Well, we'll see how many people show up.
Yeah. All right, 73, everybody.
sayonara.
Alright,
hey,
see you
I'm bug
later.
out of here.
Later.
Too. Catch you later.
I'm gonna go also, guys.
Yeah, I
7:30.
gotta drop.
All right, Bart. Have
All
a good
right,
Christmas.
bailout time.
Merry
Night all.
Christmas all.
Everyone's
care.
let in for ID.
Is this the proverbial rat sinking, leaving the sinking ship here? Or what?
yes, something like that.
I think the captain
Jeez,
has to stay to the end.
Ship's been sinking for an hour already.
I guess the hell it has.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays, everybody. If I don't talk to you,
Merry
I
Christmas,
appreciate-
Brian.
Right back
appreciate
at you.
everything.
sir.
take care.
Merry
Bye-bye.
Christmas to everybody. I'm gonna take off.
Merry Christmas, Rick.